My name is Rakaya Freegon. I am 21 years old and a graduate of Duke Ellington School of the Arts and award-won resident. I'm also an avid book reader, a valiant defender of all things nerdy, lover of art and music, a loyal friend, obnoxious sibling, and from the ages of 12 to 15, a foster child. I had recently turned 12 and was babysitting my little sister and contemplating which book to read based on how far it would pull me from my surroundings and what world I would be visiting when there was a jolting banging from the front door. Upon opening the door, I was snatched away from my world, but in a far different manner than I was expecting. I was now a ward of the state, a foster child with all the connotations of those words, neglected, unwanted, unloved. These meanings and the hollow feelings they invoked were described in many of the books I had read, but the realization of them was much more than I envisioned. As much as I kept my head down as a child, I wasn't as oblivious as I tried to make myself seem. I knew I wasn't growing up in a happy place, and I knew the periods of time my mom was gone from the home and the fear and pain I experienced wasn't normal, but neither did the word abuse really register until it was repeated over and over by the counselors. I had been abused. I was shuttled from home to home as the adults in my life, both new and old, made decisions I was sure would baffle me and that I would have no part in. Then suddenly the movement stopped. My sister and I climbed from the front steps of what would be our new home for the next 3 years with a sort of resigned curiosity. What will be, I supposed. While we were with this foster family, while not idyllic, it was nevertheless a sort of flawed but seemingly perfect ideal of home. Home-cooked meal and chores, trips to the park and curfews. Everything I saw on TV shows and thought of as fairy tales. Even if my foster mother could be attacked strict, I knew I was loved, and it felt wondrous. When we were eventually reunited, it was surreal. My mother had gone through extensive parenting classes and therapy sessions, and compared to how I felt, I remembered her. This sedate side of her seemed pleasant, even if I was left feeling bereft without my foster mother, who had become my mother. I knew the reunification was the goal, but I was confused. My sister and I had found the home we belonged in, so why were we here? Afterwards, I just decided it would be another decision by adults that I would never understand and put my efforts into adapting and adjusting, encouraging my sister to do the same. And while I was successful pushing down whatever resentment I felt for not only having to be where I felt I didn't belong and never thought to be again, but also my growing annoyance and the resurgence of feelings being a stable home had put off. For my sister, being with my mom again was the straw that broke the camel's back, and all the emotions that I was carefully keeping down for her came exploding out again and again. In my opinion, she ended up going back to foster care because our reunification was rushed, and the therapy that we had focused on smoothing things over instead of actually helping us deal with our feelings. I am now serving as FAN's alumni board member to give back to one of the only organizations that supported me through my difficult years with my mom. FAN and the friends we made there, they're always, like, I go into FAN all the time. Like, as soon as I aged out, I became a youth teacher, volunteered there, now I'm on the board. Like, I kind of think of it as like a foster home fraternity type thing. And that's what really got a lot of us through. It's because we all were able to hold each other's hand and get through it. I feel grateful for it, and I hope it continues.